hear us, Janine?
Yeah.
All right, the time is 6 p.m. on Wednesday, April 22nd. Call the city council meeting to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Present is myself, Chris Schmidt, Michael Brunkhorst,
Katie Curdy,
Eric Brandt,
Lori Lumen,
Lisa Redpenny,
Jimmy Nagel.
and is that Bob?
Yep.
All right, and Bob Close is the on virtual along with Janine Nagel.
Mayor and council, you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you.
Just sign it, please.
Yeah, just sign it there. Thank you. All right, approve or amend the agenda. Anything to amend?
Paul had notified me on Monday he could not make it, so that's why I passed out what he handed out. It's an adjustment, it's just he will not be here.
So are we removing that or just discussing this?
It's up to you if you want to discuss the stuff that he sent or not.
I know nothing about this, so we'll keep it on there. And
Yeah,
if you
me
guys,
neither.
so we'll keep it on there, and if you guys know anything, then you can talk about it. If not, then we'll wait till next time. Get a motion to approve the agenda.
we'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve the old minutes.
It's on the consent agenda. I sent an email to you about
Oh,
how
okay,
it's set
yeah.
up now, so
All right.
I mean, it's an adjustment. If you
I'm brain.
decide it's not gonna work, you can change it back, but you know, try it. It's just adding the bills and the work meeting minutes to the consent agenda.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And
All right.
review those items and then approve it all at once.
All right. The consent agenda. Get a motion to approve the bills. Motion to approve the April 8th, 2026 City Council work meeting minutes, and motion to approve the Goodhue Emergency Operations Plan.
I'll make a motion on that.
Get a second.
I can second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Old business is the Joint Powers Truck Association agreement. I saw what Bob put in there.
Can we review that email again, just to start off on the same note?
Would you like to recap?
No, if you would pull up the email, then we can just work off that, and then Bob can help us. No need to make him rework it all.
Okay.
Is that something you can do or are comfortable with?
I just have to find it.
Okay, that's
fine.
fine. Sorry, I couldn't have
I-
sprung that
I
on you.
printed out
that's
the
okay.
email as well, so.
Do you want to recap it?
Yeah, I guess I can read through it. Recap, I think for Bob was the 14.1 for the language for member communities, 8 of 10. He'd rather, believes he should stick with that. And I'm sure Bob will recap on that a little bit, but rather than the 16 to 20 community members when it comes to amending the agreement. The 4.3 and 4.4, of course, with the member communities approving anything over 100,000 instead of the 14 to 20. Again, that'll probably be talked about as well. The 3.1, the language of that is just not wrong with what he believes. It says what is it? The members, I believe, instead of the benefit of firefighters, it's benefit of members.
Members of the association versus
Yeah.
members of the district.
Yeah. And then 2.2, definition of community members. But we're thinking that needs to be, for members itself, needs to refer to member communities, not the governing bodies of each member community. Kind of a simple recap. I got the email here if you want to check it out as well.
It looks like it's the same thing we have here that's been redlined.
So
So
this
can
version,
I ask who made these changes and when?
yeah, like the version that we're currently looking at, where did this come from?
Yeah.
It came from Brad Colbert as part of the minutes that were sent out prior to the meeting that you guys attended, you created.
Michael and I. So these are the minutes from the the joint powers lawyer. These are their red lines.
I'm not certain, it came from Brad.
That is my understanding. I guess the thing that does confuse me with this, the thing that has always confused me with this is how it's never clear where it comes from. It just appears.
I know, I had some concerns, the same as Bob did, just on a few things. I know he has a 14.1 that he's concerned about. Mine was the missing graphically depicted map. I know we talked about that, right? They're gonna do a Google map and outline and all that stuff. Have they got that done?
And that's another thing, like you said, I wouldn't be that hard. I understand that working with Wabash County's GIS is very difficult as they are not as sophisticated as Goodie County's. But yeah, if we know the individual parcel ID numbers that are covered in Chester Township, why it couldn't be a simple
Google
draw the
map,
line
yeah.
around it and be like, this is the part of Chester Township?
Yeah,
The other thing that really confuses me with it, and this is where I can understand it, and maybe Bob can help me, enlighten me, maybe I'll just leave the meeting confused about this, but Chester Township, Belchester is split between Belchester Township and Chester Township. And the thing that confuses me is Belchester as an entire city is included in this. So I'm confused by, they were talking that there were 13 or 15 residences of Chester Township that pay in, yet they were saying like 10 or 11 of those residences are in Belchester. I'm thinking, well, it doesn't matter what township you're in if you're in the city, because then your payment would come from the city. And that's a totally separate matter, I guess, than what we're talking about here, but it's a confusing matter to me at that point. So.
Yeah, I guess that's the major thing that we don't have at all. I mean, we had the pricing, right, the percentages. We did get that exhibit, we just don't have a geographic or graphically depicted one. And then I know we did a lot of the 7 to 10 members to the 16 or the 14 to 20 for, I think, the quorum. And I thought it was discussed at that meeting between the committee members themselves, or, all you guys that were there, that anything over the 100,000 was supposed to be the 16 out of 20, not the 14 out of 20, like they just changed the
Correct.
difference. That falls under that 4.3, 4.4 that me and Bob is talking about as well. And then I think 10.2 could stay the same, I think, from what that was 4/5. And then, the 14.1 that Bob brought up as well. So, I mean, that's the only real issues I've seen with those minor, but yet simple things to change, I mean.
And again, the other thing that I agree with Bob upon is when he brought up the fact, the fact of where it talks about the relief association, and that it says something that it would be for the benefit of the fire department or the members.
It says benefit of the members,
Yeah.
not the firefighters.
3.1N.
Is that where that's at? Okay. I was like, now, of
Yeah,
course,
and-
I was reading through his notes and everything and saw that, and then I was like, hang on, this doesn't benefit the fire entity, yet it should be benefiting the firefighters because it's their relief.
Yeah, it says, according to this redraw, it says, for the benefit of members of the association. So Well, that wouldn't be correct at all, cause it's
No,
not gonna
'cause-
benefit the members.
No, the cities can't draw from it.
No, it'd be the firefighters,
But it's members of the association, not the,
but the cities are the members of the association.
The capital M is the
Yeah.
community, so.
because we're the Joint Powers Association, is that how it all plays out?
Mm-hmm.
So this is really supposed to say the fire department members, not,
Yeah, firefighters or
Which it
fire
said
department
before, right?
employees, something.
Correct, that's what I'm confused about. It did talk about it before in previous, that it stated it, and this is again, coming all back to what we talked about previously, not previous meeting, but previously on this joint powers is, there's no control of the document. It's like they're just picking whatever document they want or what version and running with it.
Well, so can I ask the question here? So what happened to their lawyer? Is he
Their lawyer is,
MIA?
nope, their lawyer
He's
is, from what I understand from Chad, who is the president or the chair, Chad is still working with the lawyer, Bob Rupee. So that's the other thing that's confusing me, is why Bob Rupee isn't sending these to Bob? Our Bob, sorry.
Yeah, that's where it should go, is from one Bob to the other Bob, and then that's when we should see it after the fact of that,
Mhm.
after they've
Well,
discussed
and
it.
we discussed that, like the Bob should be talking.
Yeah,
And
that's what they're being paid to do, is to discuss that, so.
So I guess we're right back to we don't know who's making these changes and why.
Correct.
And even as we look at it, and I'm sure you'll agree, some of these changes that are on this thing weren't even, were discussed even at your guys' meeting.
No.
So I mean, like I said, I don't know who's doing what and how the information's not getting where it's supposed to go.
Correct.
Robert, can I ask a question? With this 3.1.n, the Relief Association part of this document, does it really need to be in this document? Like, it seems like it's just something they threw in as an afterthought. Why is it in this document even?
Sorry, council member, you're asking about the change to section 3.1N, and why does that 3.1N need to be in there at all?
Yeah, basically. Is there any reason why
Yeah.
that should be in there? No, I didn't, I was wondering that.
I agree with the point you're making. I mean, that provision about the Fire Relief Association wouldn't have to be there. I mean, I guess acknowledging this group of 10 communities acknowledging that the firefighters are gonna have a Fire Relief Association, I guess that's okay to do, but it's for the benefit of the firefighters.
Right, I
It's not for
understand.
the benefit of the member communities, it's for the benefit of the firefighters. So I agree with your point though.
I'm just pushing back, this was a huge concern during that meeting too, like, it feels like it was an afterthought to throw it in here. If it came down to it and this whole thing absolved and we, as a committee, had money in an account, we could then, say it's an expenditure we want to help support if we decided to do that with money left over. But the Relief Association, they have money invested in a totally different kind of area. This feels like an afterthought part that was thrown in here, and I just want to, I just want to ask them, like, do we really just need this in here at all?
I guess, and going back to points that were raised at the meeting,
Yeah.
is there a state statute, Bob, stating we have to state something to the effect that we're trying to state here, that to maintain a firefighters relief association, and make such contribution to the fund? Like, is there any state statute that requires that, to your knowledge?
No,
Okay.
I mean, we all want to back the fire department. I guess that's the message that we want to make sure we share too. Like, we're gonna back them, and if something happens where we're down to money being in an account and we have to like cancel the whole gig, we could decide to support them with a normal vote. I think we should challenge them with this being in here at all again.
I mean, I don't know why would they change it to that, just not kept the firefighters. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a simple verbiage that could be put in there, and it would make no difference to the contract itself.
Mm-hmm.
To change that out to put to the benefit of firefighters.
Mhm. Well, if I remember correctly, Bob, didn't you have something still that, and I don't have the email in front of me, but isn't there something still in there that we're not defining members, or was that incorrect?
No, that's in the, I think it was a 2.2A.
So, Mayor, if I may, the opening paragraph of the agreement, the very first paragraph of the agreement, this agreement is made and entered into, and then it lists all of the participating townships and cities, and at the end of that, it has in parentheses defined as members, capital M. So the members, capital M, are the participating member communities, the townships and the cities. So that's defined in the very first paragraph. And then what's newly been added is a definition for committee members, meaning people who are appointed by the member communities to serve on the association's board. The committee members are the people that you would appoint 2 people to be on the association board. Those would be committee members. So that's the new definition added. But yeah, members, capital M members, is defined in the first paragraph of the agreement.
So Michael, let me ask you, again, since I'm struggling with these changes, so do you think that they change 8 out of 10 to 16 out of 20 because it's still 80%?
So
You think that was their thought process? I mean, it's still 80%.
that was their thought process, and this is the one thing that I struggled with in that meeting, is many people brought up the idea of, well, what if my government entity, being city or township, says, we want you to go and you make the decision at the meeting? And I said,
So is that where they're getting the 20?
that's where they're getting the 20, is because you have 10 government entities, 2 people per entity adds up to be 20.
So that's where they're getting the 16 out of 20 then?
Correct, which I argue that is not how it should be done. It should be a cumulative agreement between your board, township board, or your city council to make the decision. Now, it does bring an interesting notion into that, where I guess if all 5 of your city council say, you make the decision at the meeting, I think that's interesting, but I guess they can do that? I don't know.
I understand these.
Because aren't the townships their own governing entity? So the 2, I'm just gonna pick one, Featherstone. So the 2 people from because they don't have a city council, right?
Correct, they have a township board.
Are the 2 people from the board, the Featherstone, are they also on the board of the township?
Yes.
Now, I can see where they're coming up with the 20, because if we have 3 of the cities,
I can too.
that's 6 people for a vote right there out of the 20. If we're looking at just cities, 1 person from each city, I mean, we can be outvoted pretty quickly. And now if we have 6 of those 3 major cities versus just a few of the others, could get us that vote that could either be a yes or a no.
But we get 2 votes.
We get 2 votes.
Each get 2 votes, but
That's
if we
where
have
we're getting the 20.
If we have
Yeah.
14 just for the quorum or 16 for that, we'd be 6, those 3 cities would be 6 of those votes.
Yep.
And that means not everybody on the other cities would have to show up. You could have two from one from another,
Right.
and that's how this vote could sway in those different directions.
So how is that different than the
8 out of 10, yeah.
8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10?
Well, yeah, 10,
See, I don't think it is.
well, each community
Well,
could just send,
it's fundamentally different in the sense that if it says 16 out of 20 committee members can approve amendments to the agreement. That's what their change to 14.1 says. It says 16 of the 20 committee members can get together and approve a change to the agreement. The agreement is a contract between 10 government entities. And contracts, almost always, I can't think of an exception, to amend the contract, the government entity that's a party to the contract has to approve the amendment. So if you want to amend an agreement among 2 cities or 10 cities, you have to submit the amendment to the cities, to the cities and townships in this case, and all of those bodies have to vote on it. That's the way contracts get approved, right? I mean, we approve a contract at every one of your meetings, and your council votes on that. You vote on whether to approve the contracts or not. This says you wouldn't do that anymore with this agreement. In the future, this agreement would be amended by the association's board taking votes on amendments.
So either
What's the
way,
problem with that? So what? So why do you care? Well, I mean, the association could have a meeting of its committee, its board. Somebody could walk in and say, I propose that we amend the agenda tonight and add this proposed amendment to our JPA to the agenda tonight. Okay, let's do that. And then they could vote to amend the agreement, and you'd be bound by that. And the city wouldn't even have been notified that was going to happen. Yes, your two members would be there, could be there. Maybe they're there, maybe they're not. Maybe one of them is there, maybe none of them are there. I don't know. But I mean, you'd be bound by an amendment made by the committee that never went to the city council of the city of Goodhue. And that's just not the way joint powers agreements work, usually, in my experience. Usually, if you want to amend a joint powers agreement, all of the participating government entities have to agree to it, or some threshold have to agree to it. It has to go to government entities that are parties to the agreement.
so with our
So,
prior,
It's a change.
with the prior agreement, would we have had the same issue? Yes.
Well,
That's where I'm struggling.
Yeah, what would have been the
To be
difference?
clear, to be clear, there is a disagreement, as I understand it. I mean, frankly, I shouldn't say that. I think there is a disagreement between the association, the folks that are running the association, and the city of Goodhue, or at least me, on behalf of Goodhue. I have been told that it is the view of the current association board under the current joint powers agreement, that the current board, or some portion of them, believe that the agreement currently can be amended by the board. I don't agree with that. I think that's legally incorrect. I think that the current agreement cannot be amended except by agreement of all of the parties to it, all of the government entities that are parties to the agreement. So there's a disagreement about that currently. I mean, I heard, and again, I haven't heard this from Bob Rupi, the attorney for the association, but previously, before he was hired, I heard from representatives from the association that they believed that if Goodhue wouldn't go along with this, they would just change the agreement over Goodhue's objection or without our consent. I don't believe that that can be done. So I can't answer your question. There's a disagreement about that.
Well, I guess I'm just trying to understand.
And I guess going back to what Bob was saying, he is correct. There have been many different members of the association who have stated that if this doesn't get resolved in X time frame, we will make Goodhue pay $50,000 a month for rent, or we will make them pay X, Y, Z. And they do think, for some reason, somewhere in the agreement from 94 or whatever, 97, it states that in there. I'm not a legal expert, so I'm not even going to
I'm
comment.
just trying to understand between the
That's
version
water.
we were gonna approve and this version. We were signing ourselves up for that possibility on both versions.
Mhm.
Like,
I understand that.
Yeah, that's where I'm struggling. The one that we voted on and all said was okay, and I know they're gonna say, well, that doesn't matter, but it does. I guess where I'm struggling is, explain to me what the difference between 16 out of 20 and 8 out of 10 is. I guess that's where I'm struggling.
or is there no difference and this is a gap we have to ask them?
Well, I think, the 8 out of 10, I would agree with Bob on the 14.1, right? When it comes to that particular issue, when it comes to amendments to the agreement, right? The city should have a say in an amendment, when you're amending the agreement, right?
So you're saying because there was 8 out of 10, we could have been number 9 and 10 and we wouldn't have been able to have a say, correct?
No.
That's where I'm struggling. Thank you, Katie, that's where I'm struggling. It's the same
Well,
concept.
so
The
it
8 out,
is the same concept, but it is. I guess I want to emphasize this. I think it is fundamentally different. If it says 8 out of 10 members, that is governing bodies of the 10 communities that are in this agreement, if it says 8 out of 10 have to approve this to amend the agreement, that means the amendment must be submitted to all of the communities, to the city councils for the 2 cities and the township boards for the 8 townships.
Oh, I see, okay. I see.
The amendment has to go out to all of the member communities.
So
I get
And
it.
it says 16 or 20 committee members, it doesn't go to any of the member communities. It's just a board meeting of the association and it can be approved there.
Can I
So
try to?
basically back to Michael's point, it reads as if Michael and Chris would then, since you would be actually giving the members the ability to speak for whoever it is for Belchester, whoever it is for Goodhue, whoever it is for,
Correct,
they
so.
would speak, I see what you're saying.
So instead
I
of
see what
it
you're
being
saying.
a council decision, you are saying Chris and I,
Empowering
because
you guys to do, okay.
we are the voice for the city to make the decisions, which is an issue that I've had since my first meeting where I question it because that is how this committee or this association has always operated, is that me and Chris, as the two representatives for the city, have the power to vote. I'm buying a truck, I'm buying anything. And there's two trains of thought there. One is Bob's, which I totally understand, being that it shouldn't be up to two individuals that are appointed by the city to make that decision. It should be the city's decision to make it, meaning all 5 members of city council should make the decision to
And you guys
alter
should take
this
forward our
document.
decision.
Correct. Versus how it reads now is since we are the committee members for Goodhue, we now make the overwhelming decision of what our council wants.
At the time of that meeting, if they want to.
So if, let's be real, if I wanted to just, I'm moving out of town and I've been pissed off by Goodhue, I could say, sure, let's buy a new truck. It'll cost Goodhue $250,000 over the next 2 years. And hey, I don't have to worry about it because next month I'm flying the coop. Do I hope that ever happens? Absolutely not. Is it a reality of the times that we live in? Unfortunately. So that's where the issue, I think, we're changing it from members to committee members and 16 out of 20 versus 8 out of 10.
And this is where the conversation, and the conversation at the actual meeting, Joint Powers meeting, was they felt like that wasn't approached that way. The conversation wasn't held in that manner. It was held in a different manner in that.
Yeah, it was definitely discussed differently.
Yeah, differently in that way.
Yep.
I see what you're saying with this. So if we change it back to 8 of 10 members, which would mean the city versus 16 or 20 people on the committee, which would mean you two being on the committee. So with that being said, I think an explanation of that sort needs to be brought back to Joint Powers so they understand kind of why we want to change it back, because they're afraid essentially that that's not how it's going to be executed.
And that's what also, I've struggled with even with the budget when we set that, or the levy, the operating budget, whatever you want to call it, is we agree upon that at our annual meeting without any approval of any government entity. So in reality, and this is, I think, where we're trying to move to, but I think there's pushback as well, is we should have a preliminary meeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, but we should have a preliminary meeting to set 2027 budget in the fall of 2026 so that cities can set it, and then it's already set for townships because township budgets go July 1st to June 30th, and city budgets typically operate calendar. So that's the kind of dynamic that we're facing, but I think that's what we have to do is we have to set our budget almost a year ahead of time so that the city and townships can operate under the same operating budget. And so then, in theory, we should have a preliminary meeting that talks about what our operating budget will be for 2027, and then we can approve it after it's been approved by the members. Whereas instead,
Mayor and Council, I agree with all that. Just back on the base point here about 14.1, and it's true about 4.3 and 4.4, this change from the member communities, the members, capital N, having to approve an amendment to the agreement for a large purchase, changing that to the committee members deciding that. You are right that I strongly believe that the members, capital M, should have an amendment to the agreement submitted to them so that all of your council and all the town boards can vote on it. That I agree with. I want to go back to, previously my view has been to amend this agreement, it should require the consent, the agreement of all of the parties. You shouldn't be able to amend this agreement unless all 10 communities agree to that amendment. That has been overruled. Previously the council said no to that. But I'm going to be clear about my view. My view is that you shouldn't change this from 8 to 16 of 20 committee members, but I think it should be unanimous. And I gave a ridiculous example, but we have 2 new council members that maybe want to hear my ridiculous example. The reason I believe that is true as an example is that theoretically, this will never happen, but theoretically, the 8 townships could say, let's propose an amendment to the agreement that says the 2 cities pay for everything. 100%. The 2 cities pay for everything. The 8 townships could vote to approve that. Yeah. Even though the 2 cities would undoubtedly not approve that, the 2 city councils would say no to that. The way this is written, the 8 townships could approve that amendment and we would be bound by that. The city would be bound by that. We would be obligated to pay all of the fire association's costs. Again, I don't think anybody is going to do that. That would be sort of in bad faith, but that's what the agreement says. The agreement says that the 8 townships can vote to change this deal over the objection of the 2 cities. That's not usually the way joint powers agreements work, but that I've previously been shot down. But that is the point I made previously last year at the end of the year.
Bob, I have a question on that 4.3, 4.4. Your concern was to make sure it was 8 out of 10 for the large purchases and then still remain the 14 out of 20 for just your typical smaller purchase, correct?
You are correct. Yeah, the example we've been talking about there is a new fire truck that's going to cost $1 million. It seems to me that, again, we want the large purchase like that to be something that all of the member communities get to take a look at. We want to make sure that we're seeing what's being proposed and take a vote on that. But yes, you're right. What you said is right.
Okay.
So I guess I can interject here again. I feel like we always sit in the same place here. These changes are made. Bob is not working with the other Bob, which we talked about 3 meetings ago. I just, how do we get out of this? Because I feel like if we don't, what do we do so this doesn't keep happening? I guess that's where I'm struggling.
Well, Mayor and Council, to be fair, I guess I'm asking you to be fair to me. I've been exclusively working through the attorney for the association. I have only communicated our changes to the attorney for the association, and he has been working with me. This latest set of changes, I don't know where they came from. I'm with everybody else in the room. I don't know. They didn't come to me from Bob Ruppy for the association. They came from somebody else. I don't know. I don't know where they came from.
They
So,
came
Maybe that's where the gap is. Somebody's making changes that isn't going through the chain of command here.
No, the joint
Yeah.
powers made these suggestions back to the other Bob based on our last joint powers meeting. These were things like Belchester or Featherstone or Chester, these are things we talked through. But the problem is that we talked through these, but we didn't have the expertise to understand the 8 out of 10 rule and what that meant and what that implied. So it is a frustration across the Joint Powers Association. They're all very frustrated with it. We're the only one with a lawyer for good reason, but
A lot of these townships and cities are looking to Goodhue because we have
yeah.
an attorney.
And that's the thing that I just find to be the biggest oddity.
It's true.
We were talking about this, and there was someone from Belchester Township who brought this up. Actually, I think possibly 2 people. Is that yes, why? And they brought it up to themselves, where it's like, well, why haven't we been discussing any of these, and why haven't we been seeing any of these to I guess kind of talk about it? But then at the same time, they also bring up, it's like, which I thought was smart, should we be bringing in our own lawyer, was their comment. And it's like, probably not a bad idea, because what you're binding your township and your community to is extensive. So it's one of those things in my eyes, a lawyer's expensive, but doing this without a lawyer The repercussions can be a lot more
I thought
expensive.
Bob was the association lawyer, the other Bob. Bob,
Yes.
I thought
He is, but it's one of
Okay.
those things to me, and this was the same viewpoint that person had, was it's almost, they were thinking that their township should also have their own lawyer that is in the mix of talking, which I agree with.
But there was also talk of, why do we even have lawyers involved? Why can't we just figure this out? And it's because the point that I brought about was, we're not the ones that are gonna be in the courtroom, okay? Like, that's where this all boils down to. We're not the ones that are gonna have the litigation based on all this information, so that's why we have to do it as like a commitment to our community.
So,
Yeah.
go ahead. So just to recap, nobody knows where this version came from, right? Right?
This came from the other Bob, I think.
From my
It's in
greatest,
our Bob, it's just-
I don't have the email from Bob Rupee that says this is their version, but
Okay.
from my greatest understanding is yes. Chad Ryan, the chair for the Joint Powers and the
Okay.
association, was in conversations with Bob Rupee following our Joint Powers meeting we last had, and that's where this is coming from.
That makes sense.
Yeah, if that's correct, that's very, very disappointing. Bob Rupee and I have known each other for a long, long time. We agreed at the front end of this that I would communicate for good view to him. He would communicate back to me for the association. That would be the chain of communication.
Mhm.
So if the association gave changes to him, and then they were sent to you all, not through me, that's disappointing. That's not the way lawyers work. So I'm gonna be surprised if Bob drafted these changes and then they weren't sent to me. That's not how lawyers work.
So I'm thinking probably today, maybe discuss the changes that need to be made, and from here on out, we will not have any other discussions on this until we hear from you that some type of agreement's been made between you and the other lawyer.
Well, that's hard because now you're gonna have joint powers meetings.
And that's the
And
predicament that we're in
you
next
can't
week.
just sit there and not talk. That's hard.
Well, you'd still be able to have the meetings, but anything discussed at the meeting would have to go through their lawyer, then, which in turn
Yeah.
you would see and go through, and then we would actually get the real, actual document.
Changes.
The real changes, right?
Which
We
is-
know for sure.
Which is why I also say, like, the other townships in theory should have their own lawyer to have their voice heard through this process.
Oh, yeah.
It's their own fault for not.
Yeah, what they choose is their choice, but yeah, we definitely gotta look out for good you. I mean, it's just the way it is, you know?
Yeah.
And if I know a lot of these changes, I think Bob would agree with me, a lot of these wouldn't be that difficult to change, you know, these 10 to 10 for the amend, the 8 to 10 for the large purchases, and a map, right? There's some simple wording, I don't see
We're
it.
really close.
We're like
yeah.
really close, as far as I can tell, we're close to the finish line on this thing. A few key changes that Bob and Bob can work out that would benefit not only the association to get this thing signed, but it would benefit the city as well and other communities. I don't see that being a big issue, to be honest with you. And I don't see the association at you guys' next meeting probably not disagreeing with what Bob's saying on some of these things as well.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with the 8 out of 10 for the large purchases. That's
After
the way to
hearing the
go.
explanation, I
Yeah,
agree.
fantastic. And the quorums of 14 out of 16 are for smaller purchase, 14 out of 20. Yeah, that's normal operation business.
So can the next step be, I mean, should we have Bob reach out to the other Bob and say, I was provided this? What's the next step here?
I'm thinking that we
Yeah,
give Bob all the information that we're looking at today that we're discussing. I mean, the 14.1, the 4.3, 4.4 large purchase, the 8 out of 10, 2.1, 6.1 graphical map. I know Bob talked about it before. Have some kind of outline or do some kind of borders to show what the limits are for each of these cities depicted. I mean, we got the purchase, the percentages, which is fine, but to have a map that's actually attached for each of the towns or townships. And I mean, a few key little word changes, like Bob was saying, for like the firefighters, you know, our firefighter employees. I think those key changes, those two have the discussion. I mean, they should be able to hash that out pretty simply between themselves.
Okay, so let's have Bob contact the other Bob then. Is that something you can do, Bob?
Yeah, Mayor Council, that makes 100% sense. To me, I would just add that I think I would, just because I'm me, I think I would ask Bob to explain to me why it is these changes were sent not to me, but directly to you. Because maybe the answer is that he doesn't know about them either. But I want to find out, where these are coming from. And regardless, maybe they were reviewed by Bob Review. Yes, I will just then raise the issues that we've talked about here and work through those with him.
So I guess one question I do have is and it's an odd one to me. If a city or township wants to tell their members to vote how they want to vote live, I guess. Let's say, for instance, it was Hay Creek, and Hay Creek says, well, you two are the representative, you make the decision on what you want to do at the meeting. It's an interesting one to me. I guess you have every right to do that if you all decide to vote that way. Do we need
Well,
that?
at Mayor Council, there are lots and lots of things that the committee, the 20-member committee, can decide. So there are lots of things that the cities and the towns can say to their representatives, yeah, you vote your conscience, you do what you want to do on all those issues. I mean, they can buy things up to $100,000 without having to go to the member communities. So there are lots of things that the committee will do. It's just, I don't think the committee alone should be able to amend the agreement without having to go to the individual communities to get their agreement on that, as an example. So, but there are lots of things that you can direct your representative to vote on and do what they think is right.
So I guess what I was saying is, could we make it where each town has a half vote? I don't know. So in theory, you could have,
I'm thinking just to keep it basic, like Bob was saying, for the large purchases, be 8 out of 10 members. So you have to bring that large vote back to your city and discuss it before that vote would be actually brought to the association of what it's going to be.
correct, but I'm saying, once again, let's say Goodhue says, we want our members to vote how you want to do it, and me and Chris are split. How do we vote? We don't vote? What do we do?
I would imagine you just cancel each other's votes out and you'd be a no vote at that point.
I mean, there was votes received, whoever wins the vote from the other, parts of the committee, then it's just like a vote. I guess, as a community, I would think that you guys would be on the same page. If you
Well,
weren't,
The large votes, you would have to be on the same page, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's
8 out of
8 out of
10,
10.
you would have to bring that large purchase to the city council.
Yeah.
But anything like for the quorum or anything up to a
Correct.
certain amount, then we would have belief in you as appointed representatives to make that decision for those certain purchases.
even if you would agree, that you would,
Then that's where your 14 out of 20 would
Yeah.
come in through the whole group of the quorum.
Yeah,
Okay, we don't have to.
I think, I like this explanation now that I understand that a little bit better, the 8 out of the 10, the 14 out of 20, that makes good sense, and I know there's some guys from Belchester specifically that will listen to this, and I think that they will benefit from hearing the explanation, definition of this too. I think it's helpful to understand that, we didn't have that at that meeting.
And I would absolutely agree, the 14 out of 20 for quorums and for your typical everyday purchases, things like that. I think that kind of a vote would be your typical normal meeting. It has to be, it has to run, it has to do its thing. Any large purchases goes through, of course, the members, has to come back to the cities or townships to vote, whether that's going to be a yes or no at that meeting, and whether they agree or not. So
So Bob, when do you, sorry, Eric.
No, so I agree with Bob on the 14.1, the 10 for a 10 to amend the agreement. That should be anything amending this agreement. Everybody should be on board for that. The 4.3, 4.4, 8 out of 10 for large purchases, anything over 100,000. And then I would just ask for the 2.1, 6.12, the graphical map be included as well.
Yeah, I previously made that point, but I'll reiterate that about it. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
you got-
I'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay, and then you'll let us know, right?
As soon as I connect with him, yeah.
And then any of those other little changes I think you had on that 3.1, just the minor stuff, which I don't think that's going to be much of an issue, to be honest. But
I agree with that. I think that's right.
Just FYI, Joint Powers meets again on April 27th, where they're gonna discuss this again.
So April 27th, that's
Monday,
Monday.
okay.
with the intentions of voting to approve this, or was?
That was the hopes, dreams and aspirations. We thought we were there.
That would have been nice, but even what they just handed over wasn't what was,
No.
everybody was talking about
We're
there.
getting real close, so I know.
Well, Bob contacts him tomorrow, it might be tight, but I mean, there's still three working days there.
I mean, if they get
Yeah,
it,
we'll
they get it
try.
hashed out in a day or two and it all looks good to Bob, I mean, it is what it is, and we'll figure something out to try to work with the association if it does, but, I mean,
Do we, I don't know if this is legit or not, we haven't seen the final version, but we all have notes on what the final version is. We have to see that final version and make a vote here
Yes.
before we can take it and vote at joint powers, right?
we would end up, if it's not gonna be a meeting, it would have to be a special meeting for that.
Which we could certainly call.
Yep, which we could do, yes.
Monday before this, before the
If
joint
they were able
powers.
to get it hashed out in a day or two.
That would be
possibly,
aggressive, but yeah.
We need a minimum of 3 days notice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shoot.
and it's Monday, we're on the first 3 days tomorrow.
All right, well, that's not gonna work. Maybe,
I got my marching orders, folks. I gotta jump here. I'm getting away.
Thank
from
you, sir.
a group of,
Thanks, Bob.
officers here. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great meeting.
you
Yeah,
too.
thanks, you too.
So, let me ask this question. Could we just automatically put a special meeting for Monday? Worst case scenario, no one shows up because the document's not prepared. The special meeting's not gonna happen, correct?
What time is their meeting? I didn't catch.
The meeting's at 7, 6,
Six.
6,
You guys have
Yeah,
meetings
and-
at 6.
6.
It will not be there.
I think we're being too aggressive.
Yeah, no, I agree, Katie.
I wanna do it, but
I don't see the lawyers getting it done by then, to be honest with you.
No, no, because,
Took them way
well,
longer to get this for.
yeah, this was supposed to take a couple days,
Yeah.
and this in reality took 2 weeks.
But might have taken a couple days if it actually went the right route.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. So maybe as a courtesy, being the rep on the board, do you want to contact Chad Ryan and say, we have some concerns, it's gotta go back to the lawyer? Up to you, if you wanna keep the meeting on, we'll definitely be there and explain what we learned.
Yep.
But, we're not gonna be able to make a vote on Monday.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, if they still want to have, and you guys want to discuss what the lawyer's talking about, the 8 out of 10 and all that good stuff, to get more definition to other townships and cities, that might be useful to them. I don't know, but
Yeah. It makes sense now that he explained that. I did not understand it that way.
And that was one thing that we brought up in the meeting, was we wanted a flat out definition list. And I thought we had that clear, that either the first page of this document or the last page of this document would have been a definitions list stating what everything is, instead of having to read the entire agreement confused somewhat, and then slowly picking the agreement apart so we can understand what a member defines as, what everything else. And that's still confusing and frustrating to me that that is not something that's in there, because it's not something hard to do. It's also concerning to me that we still, after talking about it, we don't have a sheet in here that is stating the edits that are made, because all you have to do on Word is turn the review function on. And it will automatically input into a sheet and notate it into a sheet what the changes and edits are being made, so that this doesn't happen, because if there's changes that are made that were not changes that were asked for.
At least it's redlined. Come on, Michael. At least it's redlined.
We had to state that about 10 times in the meeting.
it's one step further than it was.
It's redlined.
Because yeah, even this one, I went back to the previous one just to coincide to see what were, what
Yeah.
was actually changed, and I'm looking like, well, there was some stuff discussed, but those weren't the correct changes, and it's like, well, okay, now we're, but now you can see from this point on, if we get these, what is it, like 3 or 4 things, something like that, real minimal stuff, if we can get those easily changed, then there's an agreement. It's that
Yeah,
simple.
we're getting there. For sure.
I mean, it's definitely something that's been frustrating for everybody. It's even before my time. It's frustrating for me to be sitting here doing it. But I think all this frustration is going to pay off in the end. It's going to benefit everybody, not only the association, the city, the members, everybody, honestly. It may take a little longer to get there, but it'll get
I
there.
think we have a plan, so that's good. we're gonna get it done by Monday, I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I guess one question I do wanna bring up, slightly on the joint powers, maybe not on the agreement. Maybe I should bring this up to council concern, but, yeah, we'll bring it up later, never mind. Carry on.
Carry on.
You boss me.
Alright, moving on to new business. Review and approve spring quotes that were received.
So I have to ask, this was an honest quote received?
Yes.
Like, did the guy come in at $350 and just fill it out right here?
No, I think you printed it up.
Yeah, this thing
Yeah.
is,
Which one is it?
Who is Bill Robertson?
He works in Belchester.
Picked it up, filled it out, brought it back.
So he picked this up and literally hand wrote it down there.
Because I'm confused, I'm sorry, but is that a JCB TS8 CL Plus?
I have no idea
Or-
what that's even what
Like
it
a
is.
JCB is a skid loader, it's a company.
Minus skid steer.
Yeah,
He got to be here at 7.
and approximately 13,000 pounds of what?
material, crushed rock, what kind of crushed rock?
I don't know. Grass clippings? I have no
He
idea.
mentioned doing alleys to me when he filled it out. Said if he just needs some alleys done, so. It's a motive.
Funny thing is, I think we have 2 alleys that are gravel left in town. But don't worry, this unit does a much better job than a road grader.
So these quotes are, you said that Jason was gonna be here around 7.
He was hoping to get here at 7, yeah.
Does he understand what this is a little bit better maybe?
So.
He may have spoken to him.
Okay.
So I guess if we look past Mr. Robertson's, going through this, I guess I can speak on this. It's fairly common every year you get the quote schedule or rate schedule. Basically, as you go through it as a city, let's say a temporary work is needed or a immediate fix, typically you have to get quotes to do so. This kind of circumvents it in the fact that you would pick the company that's gonna have the lowest price. Jason can estimate how many tons of rock he's gonna need and how many rough estimated hours of a dozer or a grader he's gonna run to get the job done. And then you would base it off of that to go with, oh, Schumacher Brothers is gonna be the cheapest on this job, or Fitzgerald Excavating is gonna be cheaper on that job, or Bruning's price per ton is cheaper. So I wouldn't say it's how a city can kind of bid a job without, that doesn't need an engineer per se.
Yes, we're not, every single project we have to worry about, it's
Yeah, we
this
need,
one
yeah,
contractor.
we need 20 20 tons of rock
Yeah.
and 6 hours of work, and we're not gonna bid it out because these companies are gonna hate us if we have to bid out everything.
so I have a question, because so was the first one, some guy who came and wrote it
Yes.
out on this piece of paper?
Yes,
And there's something from this Ashley Blake, and then
so,
there's something from Fitzgerald, is that the way this?
yes,
And
yes, so,
Schumacher, yeah.
so the company so far is Bill Robertson, then Ashley Blake is with Bruning Rock.
Which that's
Okay.
only rock. They don't have like excavators or.
No, that's just rock pricing, they'll drop rock and leave, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Fitzgerald Excavating, you can get rock and equipment and labor. And then Schumacher Brothers here is stating rock, equipment, and I know they have labor, but labor pricing is not notated.
Yeah, I think we need Jason, because the first one looks really unprofessional, so I don't even know if I don't even know who this guy is, I mean, what?
I mean, we don't have to approve anything, all we have to do is we're just accepting the
You're
bids.
not picking one.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh.
he uses them
He
all
looks at
for
all of
certain
them.
things.
Oh, okay, so we just have to say, I don't know about the first one, no.
All we have to do is just approve
Thank
the,
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
approve the spring
That's all.
quotes.
Basically approve that people submitted them and that we
Oh, I
accepted them.
see.
That's
Okay.
pretty
Just
much.
like what we do for winter snow removal.
Okay.
Choose what we need when
Huh?
we need it. Choose what we need when we need it.
Yeah.
From each individual.
And if we need all of them, we can use all of them.
So, I guess I'll make a motion on that,
I'll second.
to approve them.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, spring quotes received. The capital improvement plan committee assignment. So I guess
We had asked that we put together like a crew to basically start working on a SIP.
Committee, subcommittee, something like that, that we can start working on that capital improvement plan to start working on the city to, especially now, I'm sure later on, we're gonna see some stuff that needs to be done that could easily go in that capital improvement plan that we know is gonna be needed later, that we can start budgeting for now, ahead of time.
Yeah.
We all seen that one we got last meeting, I think the work meeting or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was exceptionally good, that we will not be reaching that limits, but I would definitely, absolutely like to see something in line with that to better budget for city-wise, for repairs, things like that for future projects, which we all know we want to expand the city eventually. The city's gonna get bigger, more people wanna move here, things like that. So I think something like that would absolutely benefit us for later.
I agree. I guess my question on that, and maybe help me a little bit with this, is who is on what committees, so that we can spread the love, essentially.
I'm not on any, so I'll be happy to be on that committee if you guys would like.
And yourself also the same with you.
Yeah, and that's where I think I'm happy to help compile things too. I would want to do it virtually, just because I don't get off work during regular working hours, and as the administrator and the clerk, you guys should be involved too, as part of your role.
Well, it does, we would do the same thing, I'm going to assume that we do in January. You make the committee appointments, and then you are on the committee, and then you move forward with that task. So that is what if there was another thinking that you thought was gonna happen, that was my assumption of what the committee appointments would be made.
Since this is a new committee, we wouldn't want to wait till January.
Oh, no,
We just do the
it's
normal,
similar to what happens in January, this is just happening now.
we just make the appointments of who's gonna be on,
Who's
and
gonna
then
be on?
after
no,
that.
what I think is what she's saying is because she has a normal job and doesn't get off until late, it would have to be done virtual because
Oh,
you
yes.
guys would need to be involved.
But
as
the
well.
actual appointment that we need to make tonight is just the same,
Yeah.
what you do in January.
Yes.
That is true. So you can,
I guess this leads into a second conversation that we were talking the other night about too, so maybe it was the right time to bring it up too.
Yeah, so the one thing that we had discussed about is, looking at altering who is on the, Fire Association,
Joint powers.
Fire Association, Joint Powers, I mean, everything, the representatives of the city, for the Relief Association, or,
Association members,
yeah, whatever you wanna call it.
the contract we just looked at.
So I guess, the thing that I had thought about is, with your background, Katie, of, understanding contracts quite well, being a former firefighter of yourself, and having an understanding of those two, I think it'd be very worthwhile to have you as one of those. And so I guess what I was curious about is if we shuffle this up and had Katie and I be the representatives.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Now, in order to do agreement, you'd have an alternate as well. So
Correct.
technically, you'd have three. So if
Correct. So
Chris
that's
decides
my.
not to go, then she would absolutely be on it, basically. She would be the.
And right now, the alternate is
Is Janine.
Okay.
So I guess the question that I have is, Janine, do you want to stay as the alternate? Do we want to put Chris as the alternate? How do we want to roll with that?
I mean, I think Chris would be good for the alternate.
That's fine. Yeah, so we can approve this one and then come back and do the fire one during our
Committee conversation.
guess it was just kind of.
So I'm the one, I feel bad because I'm the one who brought up this tip, but Eric, if you wanna be on it, definitely.
But we can have
do
two
it.
people.
Well, I will, but I would like to be, maybe let you take lead on it and then, or somebody else take lead on it, and I'm very happy to give it some juju and do the things that I tend to like to do.
I guess honestly, my thoughts with this whole thing was, you seem very interested in it, so I think being on it makes sense because you also have already some, I feel like, ideas. Eric also, I feel like you are very interested in this as well, which is good. So I think it only makes sense to maybe have you two be the representatives on it. Not that I'm just throwing you at it and saying I have one less thing to do. It just seems like
I'm
you
not
both,
taking it that way.
you both seem to look forward, or not, I don't maybe not look forward, but have
Their eyes
input.
got bright when they.
It's a challenge, and
Yeah.
I'd like to see the challenge. to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
And I think you do really good at it too. I'm very happy to stay, I go on this subcommittee also. I'm gonna let you take lead though, like with those guys that I would like to contribute. I just might not be able to contribute as much being on two then committees. But I'm happy to contribute wherever.
Yeah, no, that's fine by me.
You just need to make a
Get
motion.
a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, he's like.
I'll second.
I'm like, we're not gonna make it. And then I goes too far.
Because I'm confused.
Motion
I make a
Motion, second.
For which
for
one?
the,
Or-
the
For
CIP.
the CIP
Okay.
committee.
Eric and Katie to be on the committee
Okay.
of the CIP.
And you could do a reassignment of the fire right now too. It really doesn't
Okay.
matter. You can do that.
You wanna do that?
I'll make a motion of the reassignment of the fire committee, rearranging that Katie will be a committee member and Chris will be the backup,
The alternate.
alternate,
Janine will be removed.
what Chris said.
I'll make a motion on that.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, next is the First Farmers Merchant Bank moving funds. Obviously, Paul is not here. I know nothing about CDs. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Put him into the player,
Put them into your JBC, you know that.
The only information we pass along is we have the 3% savings account, which is what we was offered before. So those funds can be transferred in and out. They do have to be mutual funds, but the balance on that 3% needs to remain over 100,000 to keep the 3%. And next meeting, the work session is a presentation from the 4M group, which they do consult with cities to help them do investments.
So that's at the next work
That's at the
meeting?
work meeting, he's gonna be coming in and answering all of the questions.
So I'm kind of thinking table this
For sure.
until then.
Absolutely.
I'd rather have some professional advice on what we're gonna do versus take a guess.
Thank you for lining that up. I think that would be helpful.
And I guess one thing for the next meeting, I know we'll kind of be off by a couple weeks, but could we continue to get the statements that we're getting typically, like, they're typically emailed at the end of the month, am I right?
Oh, are you talking about the budget to actual? Yeah, I'd like to see that be part of the packets.
Yeah.
So we can,
Oh,
is that,
okay, when I have it done, I just like to get it off my, but I can do that.
Totally email it to
I mean, if you want to email that out right away when it's done, that's fine, but could
Yeah.
it also be included, because that typically lines up being completed before the work session meeting, correct?
It's in between, it depends on when the day
Okay.
falls and when I get
So-
statements.
Okay,
It's
so like,
based
if
on-
it has to be included in the, full council meeting, regular council meeting, whatever you wanna call it, like the second one, like, that's fine, included with that one, but just wherever it falls, if we could always be getting that every month, monthly.
Yep,
I do still have a lot of questions on it. I want to understand, I want to absorb some more on that. Can we have that be on the next working session agenda? Is to like dive into that a little bit better. It'll help educate us a little bit on what is set out there and then maybe we could give some input on some revisions potentially.
I like the idea because it'll coincide with the financial guys as well to kind of help with the tips on that, so.
Yeah, Thank you.
Alright.
Do we have a police report for this evening?
It was on the other,
I think it was on the last one.
yeah, the work.
Oh,
She
the
ran away
work
when you
session.
asked that.
You got a call right
I
away.
don't think she would know. That was in the last packet that we
Okay.
had.
I didn't know if we got it monthly. No, we
Um,
must. do a working session.
Yeah, we get it, well,
I think it depends when he emails it off.
we get it in we would get it at the working session, yeah.
because it's the end of the month. Committee updates, oh, we're gonna table the bank thing.
Not to distract you guys, do you have anything for the sheriff's office before I have to scoot?
No, I just asked about you and then you left. No, we're good.
Okay, perfect, we don't have anything, I mean, we just had pretty much the same calls, so calls are getting higher, but nothing to be concerned about, so.
All right.
Do you guys have a good night?
Summertime. Thank you so much.
Table the banking stuff. Committee updates.
I guess one thing, so my wife and I, we are in charge of the Goodhue Flower Committee. So the ones that put out the beautiful flower pots around town and maintain several of the beds around town that you'll see on city property. Some questions that did arise at our meeting that we had last Saturday. I guess one was, unfortunately, we're not gaining any members. And so that's always a lovely thing about committees. So I guess one question that came up is there any way we could put in there, put in the like monthly or quarterly newsletter that goes out in the mailings? Just stating about that, and if anyone wants to join, to reach out.
To be honest with you, I had no idea there was a flower committee,
Yeah.
so.
And don't worry, there's many people that just think the city does all the pots or something like that, or they just magically appear and disappear. So it is one of those things.
Well, they make them appear on the street corners.
Yeah.
I guess I had a question about, now, do they do all the parks and stuff like that, right? That they plant in?
To a point, yes and no. So like I'm trying to think. I don't
The
know.
flower beds down by the pickleball courts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
the
nicer
flower beds by
ones,
the
yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
So
So
do they work with the school, with the?
somewhat, very minimally, unfortunately, the school. It's been an interesting thing with the ag teacher turning over a couple different times, and stuff like that. And now, like, typically the school helped out with cleaning out the beds in the spring, with the cleanup day only being half day now. Did
Yeah,
that?
I got cut in half.
They got cut. in
But like,
half.
was that day already take place? Did that day already take place?
Not yet.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, till this next week.
So it'll be interesting to see. Typically, it was a full day, and they would take like a whole 20, 30 kids to clean up all the beds. We have no idea how this is going to go this year. So, it's not a strenuous task by any means, but if you don't mind picking some weeds here and there and stuff like that, we thoroughly enjoy to have some more.
Send me what you'd like in there. and I'll
I
get
can
it.
do that.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe even throw it on the face and if that. could
Yeah,
be-
put it on Facebook.
So,
That would be amazing.
yeah.
You have a Facebook page, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could connect to that Facebook page if Kylie sent her that link.
Mm-hmm.
But for the newsletter, if you have the information that you want in there, that won't be, we can fit it probably in the main one.
Okay.
Just like time.
Okay.
We'll just scrunch it.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Nothing from the gas side. Public Works comments, well, Jason's gone.
He did
but-
give me a bunch of notes, if you guys wanna know, about this quote that he got for the pump that's failing at the wastewater treatment plant.
I had one question about it. Was this the only quote he received?
No, let me just give you the rundown of what he's been doing,
Okay.
if that's okay?
Yeah.
He contacted the supplier of the old pump, they said they could build a new pump in 17 weeks. He called electric pump 3 times as well as email, and he got no response. He called Minnesota pump, they can't give us a quote, but they need to come back down, take a look, and then they'll give us a quote. Quality was the only one that responded with a quote. And this is it, and it came and gave us this. Our plant is filling up with solids as we speak, and the pump is slowing down. It should have been replaced long before now. The quality flow one is turnkey, it includes the piping, pump, electrical install, and mechanical. And the secondary part for $12.80 each, they don't know how many they're gonna have to replace of the leak valves. So that's an unknown. They're gonna bring a few extra. Doug Alms, he said, get it done right away or it may be out of compliance. So we need to jump on this. It's a necessary. Jason will order it tomorrow.
So I will have some notions. Borger, the pump manufacturer, very good company. A rotary low pump will be great for the application that's going to be going in. Honestly, looking over this, nothing seems crazy. On a lot of it, the nice thing about these Borger pumps is they're very robust, as well as also very serviceable. For instance, we have a different brand of rotary low pumps, but we service our own pumps and they're quite easy. I would have confidence in Jason or Todd to do the service themselves on them. So, 36,000 I don't think is honestly crazy. For what's happening, and I think $1,200 for a gate valve may sound crazy, but it's not. Yeah. I think when you look at it, because this includes, because this 36,000 does include installation, or is that just the pump
Yeah.
with?
Installation to include removal of
Yeah.
slab, new pump, ending your new check valve, provide startup and training to new equipment, install labor mileage.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's typically normally ends up being roughly another $1,800 to $2,500.
Well, we know we're gonna need this thing for at least another minimum 4 years, most likely.
Yeah.
Because we had, what, a year and a half before they even break ground possibly on the site. Then even once that's built, we have 2 more years and we have to maintain ours just to make sure everything's working properly.
Yeah.
So installation is above and beyond, you thought that's not part of the 36,000?
It's turnkey. It includes the install, electrical install, mechanical install, piping.
This is everything, plus
Okay.
36,228 plus
So
tax.
the only thing that it does not
It's the
include
gate valves.
is if new
They're
additional.
gonna know when they get in if
Yeah.
it needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
The gate valves.
Okay.
So we possibly wouldn't have to spend the $1,280 on each valve if not needed.
Correct. But
It's
most
just in there that
people-
that's what the cost would be if we need to do that.
Yeah.
'Cause
And they'll just bring those with, and if they use them, they use them. If they don't, they bring them back, and we don't get charged.
Yeah, because I'd rather have them replace them at the time if they're needed, than just have to tear everything back out again just to do that.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. We need to make a motion.
It was pretty much, he has to do this.
Yep, this feels like T&M.
We
No,
have to,
it's-
he's doing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's gonna order it tomorrow because.
Do you need an order or a vote or not?
We don't, it's maintenance, it was, so you guys are well aware, so if you get asked, you can explain it.
Well, we have to have it.
We do.
It's a necessity. I
We
mean,
do it
it's-
already, you're starting to.
So what is he doing in the time being? Like
He's going down there quite a bit to, clean it out, do you clean it out?
Possibly, I don't know what kind of pump they have.
Yeah, it is, he's been down there a lot.
Overdue.
Alright, and it looks like he's going to look at a dump truck next week, maybe?
Yeah, it's come available.
Yeah, I tried to look at it yesterday, but I couldn't find it, so.
That was one question I had. What happened to the dump truck we had? Did we get rid of it already?
No, it's parked in the garage. In this garage.
Oh, this garage. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
leaking all over the floor.
we already have funds set aside for the new one, correct?
75,000.
Okay. Well, that's,
Above and beyond and
well,
outside.
that's better than having zero and needing a new
Do we
truck.
know about what the new one may go?
Brand new?
No.
Well,
this
no,
is-
what they
This one?
typically auction for.
At auction, the last one went for, I want to say, like
90.
49.
Well, that's what, the guy bought it, that turned around and tried to sell it to us for 90.
Yeah.
We're trying to bypass that
Well, so
step.
75.
So we're trying to buy it off of Gov Deals
Okay,
basically, which is where the last dealership bought it for, which is then where we found out that it's coming from Edina, Eden Prairie?
Cool rabbits.
Cooter, well, that was close.
So
One
yeah,
of those cities.
he's just trying to double his money on the auction.
Yeah.
Probably. Either that or like Wisconsin surplus, something.
Okay.
Why you gonna buy it?
So, well, yeah, if we got the money, that's great. I mean, that's fantastic.
Text Jason.
Alright, cool.
We saw the administrator.
Yep, so the administrator, this whole internet, I was reading this whole internet charge reimbursement to council, I misspoke. It was the internet company for this other community. They
Oh,
wiped it, not that we would pay for it, and I
okay.
would never expect it, but anyway, it was just something to think about.
I see what you're saying. I guess I misunderstood it.
Yeah, I misunderstood or misrepresented it, so,
I have things that have come up since then, so when you're ready for them, I will, let you know about the updated stuff.
well, it's your comment, so you can,
Well, if you're reading, I don't want to,
I've already read it.
okay.
I'm good.
Well, I went to a a management meeting at the government center in Goodhue County last week, and they announced that all 5 cannabis licenses for Goodhue County are taken, so nobody can come to Goodhue, the city, and open up cannabis. All 5 licenses that they said that they would open up have all been spoken for. North Somerville Sanitary Sewer District, again, made Representative Finstad's 2027 community project funding request list, just like the call that you got in the last one. We're on next year's, so hopefully we'll get some more money for that.
Good, good.
A bill was introduced at the Capitol to combine regional projects. We're all on a list, and right now, if, let's say, Goodhue is the worst, we'll get money, but the other 3 communities won't. They're introducing a bill to change that. Who's ever highest, all communities go up to the highest, so it doesn't leave a community out. So one community isn't getting money and the other 3 out of this North Somerville doesn't get funded. They're trying to change that.
So it'd be basically all the communities will get an even fair chunk that would go
We
into
would be
that
brought up,
project.
yeah, we would all be brought up to the worst case scenario and not get, well, we get funded and we move through and the other 3 don't. We would have to adjust.
So
That we
this bill would benefit all of us at this
It
point.
would.
Because it puts us all at that worst.
Do you,
Believe it or not, Pine Island's higher than us. We would move up along with them if they got it.
because their flooding issues.
They're way higher. They're the highest one
Yeah.
of all of us.
So what, do you have the bill number?
I don't, Elizabeth, from Pine Island went and spoke on it, testified last week. So they already heard it. It's making its way through. Hopefully, it'll get passed. Goodhue County's working on a new building permit system that will become an online process, not the paper, just an FYI. It's gonna flow where the applicants here, a resident, can go online, log in, and see where it's at. If it's passed the initial zoning approval, and you'll see the progress, so you'll know when it's done.
And is that currently already in place now or soon to be?
It's very soon. They've been,
Okay,
beta testing, kind
Okay.
of the whole process. 390 in cleanup day receipts, 30 total drop-offs, 12 pickups, and $10 donation from the citywide cleanup last weekend.
is that up from the year before?
It is,
Okay.
in all aspects,
and
pre, the day of, and one.
did Waste Management, they, no questions asked, picked up everything and
Dumpsters plus electronics.
there was a lot of electronics, I was impressed.
There was a lot of TVs out there.
Yeah, it was. It was also a full 18-foot trailer of appliances picked up.
Where all the bikes go.
I don't know. Was I supposed to take the bikes? I wasn't.
Been in the middle.
Okay. It was one of those things I was picking stuff up and I saw them like bikes and grills and I'm like, do I take those? Do I not? I'm like,
The kids just couldn't get it into the
okay.
thing,
Gotcha.
the metal one.
There were a couple nice bikes. I was surprised.
The Manor was contacted and did respond, the Manor management was contacted and did respond. They'll be working on a shelter plan. We promised to get it to meet them again next week. Taylor is coming back next year to work in Public Works, Taylor Tomford. Pool update, 11 full-time lifeguards have been hired along with 5 subs. Lesson sign-up day will be May 19th, and I just pushed that out on all the platforms from 3:30 to 6 at City Hall, right here.
So we're fully staffed then for, perfect,
Nice.
great.
And does everyone have like the qualifications that are required, or do they have to get, yeah?
The people who get restart, we do them, but they have to be certified for the first time if they're brand new. And then if they're here for 2 years, they get that reimbursed, but they have to work 2 seasons.
Okay,
But they have to have it before they start.
gotcha.
That is a motivating factor for some of those gals that have to have it. They like to be able to do their research through here. And I'm like, sure, if you're gonna work here, like, heck yeah,
Yeah,
that's an easy win for everybody.
That's it. Most of those things came from the meeting last week in Gooding County.
I just hope that it's open a lot this year.
I'm looking forward to positiveness this year. Maya is really taking the reins. She's been impressive so far.
I have one question on your report that's written, I guess. The tree thing?
Yeah,
You read it?
I'm just confused by it, so
yeah.
can you click, so, okay. So the field northwest corner, so it's
Behind the
the town,
townhomes.
okay. AK license?
I'm sorry, what?
License? There's no license that own the property? Okay, no, whatever. Whoever owns it, they wanted to plant trees?
No,
No.
we planted trees on their land. They want $200
Per tree.
per tree per year. And how many
Right.
trees are there?
It hasn't been determined yet. He estimated about 9, but Jason hasn't been there to get the marker to see how many of it were
When were the
planted
trees planted?
a while ago, because there was snow issues coming into the back of the townhomes. So that whole line of trees were planted.
To try to like stop the
To
snow.
try
As
to
a
slow
snow
the
fence.
Snow break, yeah.
down, and they went too far. And he contacted us, he got a letter that had nothing to do with it, but then he realized there was some trees over there. So he came in, we sat and discussed them, him and his wife, came to an agreement, and the very next day, he called and said, no, I'm gonna charge you. They were gonna let us keep them there.
I mean, it is his property, I guess, to make that decision.
And Jason and Todd can do it. It had to dry up, because when he came, it was after that rain that it came.
Yeah, what?
So it has to dry up, they can do it, but they have to find markers to see how many there is, and they can put a snow fence up to replace the trees. So the people on that end don't get
Is
not
that our
Yeah.
responsibility to put up a fence there? Isn't that the homeowners?
It's not the city's responsibility, but at the same time cause I live there, we
It
get,
gets
yeah, I mean,
crazy.
he lives down there too. Drifting is bad.
So I think also, I
So
get what
it
you're
was-
saying, like, are we going above and beyond to where we shouldn't be? I think I also look at it as, if the drifting, because I look at how it drifts around between my house and through my house and my neighbors, if it's drifting up onto the streets,
Yeah.
it's now a public safety hazard. So I get what you're saying, are we going above and beyond our duty, but at the same time, I would worry about the drifting if we didn't have it on the roadways, now making it a large additional hazard. I don't know.
So we planted the trees on the property to try to eliminate, and it sounds like we did this years ago, potentially?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, are we talking like
Yeah,
5 years
yeah,
ago,
it's
10 years
been-
ago?
No, these trees
They're
were
big.
put out there prior to me moving here, so probably
So are we just gonna end up lopping them off?
2012.
Jason and
Ish.
Todd can do that.
Are they
So-
just gonna cut them off?
And then they're gonna grind them down,
Yeah,
stack them up,
Yeah.
so they don't have to pull them all the way to the burn pile, they're gonna burn them back there.
Okay.
But you may hear that something.
Yeah.
What's going on with all those trees?
And you're gonna see city guys out there working on it, so are we notifying those homeowners why we have to cut those down?
I guess we could,
Like, if we're gonna do the fire or burn pile, that probably would be a good idea to say, this is the project that we're doing back here during this time and this time, this is what we.
When
Send
they
it a
get
few
to
months
it-
before
when
we
they
do
get
it.
to
Yeah,
it,
when they
get to it.
when the
but-
time comes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Well, part of me says do it now so that those people can have a conversation with their neighbor. Change his heart, maybe.
Well, I guess,
I don't know.
is it gonna be coming in the next month, 2 months? I mean, do we really know when particularly?
Yeah, does Jason have an idea on what he's doing this for?
Does he have, I'm sorry, does he have an idea why?
No, when he might
He
do
does
it.
not, that's just it. When I spoke to him, I said, when it dries out and we can find the markers for the lot, to make sure we're only removing the ones that aren't, that's when it'll get done, and the homeowner, or the owner of the land said, okay.
It's pretty dry now, but
It's pretty wet out there still, I think.
Could be wet for the next 2 years.
So that's where that left off.
Yeah, no, I agree, probably give maybe a notice to the residents or on the page, wherever we typically do a notice that this is what's gonna happen. So if you see a large fire, a lot of smoke, that's the reason for it, you know, and that way people aren't calling the fire department for a fire that the city's doing.
So that's how that happened.
So we're gonna put up, I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this. We're gonna put up a snow fence that we're gonna have to put up and tear down every year.
maybe.
It depends what trees where.
Are we gonna wait to see where the road gets snowed in and then proceed to put up a snow fence if needed to help Jason?
I think that's the avenue we should take.
Yeah, because I mean, I can tell you what, it gets real nasty at my place too, and I would love for the city to come put snow fence in for me, but I want it out in the spring because it's an eyesore. So we're gonna maintain snow fencing.
I guess it depends on if it affects those houses having those trees at the end removed. I don't know.
I
Maybe
think
it
our
won't
only
even
thing,
affect it.
yeah,
I think our only
our
concern should
concern
be,
is the street ability to keep that clear. I mean, otherwise we can't
put up
do
snow
that.
fence just for a homeowner.
Yeah,
Well, and typically, I mean, I can speak down there, typically the snow gets pushed into the empty lot. And it usually, like this year, I mean, it was at one point 10, 12 feet high. So we didn't get a whole lot of drifting there. And then they all push it down to the end of Fifth Avenue, but they have to keep it somewhat clear because there was a fire hydrant down there. Well, that last corner townhome, there's nothing there, so it'll come up and into her driveway, which, you know, it's not our problem, but I hate to say it like that, but
I totally am game for, if you have something where we're pushing snow and displacing something, like, let's do it there, but when it comes to, we just gotta be careful.
I mean, I guess I would personally say don't put up anything this year just to see how.
Assess it first and
Yeah.
then see what is required or needed, I guess.
Yeah. It's windy up there no matter what, man.
Or it's, back.
We're a
there,
farm
it's
field
pretty-
community, everything's windy.
I know,
I'm
it's
still
so
trying to
bad.
figure out where these trees are,
Yeah.
because
Are they pine trees? Oof.
they're a mixture of everything. So,
That's unfortunate.
council comments?
I guess the only thing I just wanna bring up is, we're gonna have Bob change a couple of those things correct, like the 10 for 10 for the amend, the 4.3, 4.4 for the 8/10 for large purchases. Get the map would be nice, I mean, just a geographical, Google map is fine with a red line. And then I think he was just gonna amend the minor stuff, correct, that's what we're gonna go with.
Knowing that he was appeared to be sitting in a car, we'll be sending him.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that's the information that's going to him, so Bob and Bob can discuss it, and we're not gonna hear anything until it's from Bob.
That's how it should go in.
So we're not receiving these different,
I'm sure we're gonna see a different
versions, but-
version at the joint powers, but we'll just
Yeah,
say
but
like,
the
hey,
council itself won't see it until we know
Yeah.
Bob has already viewed it, basically.
yeah.
I guess, one thing I do have a question on, and I wasn't able to find it on the website. We have an ordinance about dogs at large, correct?
We do, yes.
There's a notice on the door.
And then we also have a notice about picking up your own dog poop, right? Now my question is I already know the answer to it, but the enforcement is through Goodhue County, correct?
I thought according to the ordinance, it would be somebody that could be through the city, would be,
The at-large of the poop.
Yes.
The at-large, you do call Goodhue.
Yeah, the county.
You do call Goodhue County.
Are they our kennel? Like, are they our?
So this is where, not saying I have the issue, but this is where I'd like to bring it up, is so there is a resident near me who who consistently has their, it's either a Belgian Malinois or a German Shepherd, I'm not sure, that continues to get out and is very aggressive.
He chased my nephew down the street. the other day,
Black dog?
Like
yeah.
a German Shepherd looking thing.
Yeah, and so I've called Goodhue County several times about this dog, and I have now stated every time that it is coming from XYZ house. The residents just know not to answer the door. I'm not gonna try to catch this dog because it has quite literally ran at a neighbor and her daughter. Do we have, and this may be the sheriff's department question, but like, is there anything we can do?
We were instructed to have them call because we had this, when did you put that up, a year ago on the door about dogs that lurk, because we had quite a few.
Okay.
And that's what we were told to do, is have them call dispatch.
Yeah, and dispatch would send somebody out here, they would attempt to find the owner, if they didn't find the owner or make any contact, then they would take it to,
Humane Society
is
in
it River
Redwood.
Bluff?
Yeah, we were in Redwood.
Yeah.
But like, so like, for this incident, you know, the dog, I literally like was on the phone with dispatch and the lady was like, our officers en route, they're leaving Bell Creek Township or something like that. So they weren't far, but they weren't in town either. So it was one of those things where, you know, and I'm like, oh wait, I see the dog, yep, the owner just took it in. Here's the house, I don't know the address, but here's where I am, here's the house. And
So Michael, sorry.
I could
This
watch-
came up when,
I could watch the sheriff like walk up to the door, knock on it.
Yeah.
No one answered because
It's a sheriff.
it's a sheriff. And then the sheriff knock on it again and call and say, we couldn't make any contact. I'm like, I just watched the person grab the dog 2 minutes ago and their same cars are there. Unless they walked out the back door and ran away, they're in the house. Understandably, it's not like they have they can't do anything more. I get it. But,
And an ICR was made for that, so anytime they go, so, you know, once you get a certain amount of them, I mean, it'll carry its weight, but it stinks that you have to do that. I mean, you know, years ago, we had an issue on our street, and we called and called and called and called, and nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, we called, and they came out and actually did something about it, which was really, really good, but, yeah, it's just,
A history needs to be created.
I would say if you see it, you video it. As some kind of type of evidence showing the dog is on the loose, it's not controlled.
Yeah.
I mean, at least then there's some kind of evidence trail for later on. I mean, that's the best I could say for evidence-wise for the city or the sheriff when they decide to want to ticket them or whatever it is.
yeah.
I mean, they got the city or county attorney or whoever is going to have that video footage show.
Yeah.
And then there was another thing that came up at the flower committee. It was the dogs pooping in our flower beds. It's lovely. And I don't know how you fix it. It was one thing again. Could we put something in the flyer reminding people that we literally give them free dog poop bags and the garbage to put their dog poop in.
Yeah, those things are fantastic. I take
know,
my dog
it
for a
bailed
walk,
me
it's
out the other
great.
day.
I always carry bags with me, but it's nice to have a little trash bag, you know, a little trash can everywhere I go to dump it.
So also it is very ironic. It's the bed right here.
The same bed.
It's the same. And the best part is the trash bag and the trash bag holder is right
in
there.
The same bed.
Literally feet apart. The problem is this individual has no care, yet when the spouse takes this dog out, they pick it up every time. So, it's just, it's not a small dog, let's just say that.
You know, I've seen it around too. It's or not just dog, but just the droppings of other dogs. And it's like it's not that hard to just pick it up. And
Yeah, so,
We'll get it in.
Thank you.
Okay, so this might be a little snarky of me, but for $10 you can buy little signs on Amazon. Do we stick one in that bed as a city?
Don't poop in our.
Please clean up after your
Oh,
dog.
okay, I was going another way.
There's some more funny ones on here, but maybe for when we know we have a problem area.
Are they like fluorescent pink, like super bright?
They're white and green, but they're bright white. They're big. I mean, they're not little.
Can we
But-
put like solar lights around them?
I literally think we have some of those in parks.
There are some that I see posted that say
Yeah,
pick up
they
after
just
your
say
dog,
like.
that we do have in the parks over here that
Yeah,
I've
Well,
seen.
they may just appear one day.
Yeah, true that.
It's public property.
This small little tidbit, Jason had just inquired about possibly putting a security camera behind Public Workshop due to issues back there, to be able to, cause they cleaned it up, Todd and Jason do. And so I did get pricing on it, we haven't done anything about it. The most important piece of putting the security camera on the back there to catch said individuals, is the electrician part of it is more expensive because it has to run all the way to the other side to Jason's computer. Camera's not that much, it's electricity,
Are
to
we
get.
able to do a wireless one?
Well,
Solar
you
powered
need to
wireless?
get it on our network.
I was gonna
so
say,
that-
we're trying to tie all of it together
So
Oh.
to be
Jason,
networked.
Jason can see it on his phone as it's happening.
Well,
I think-
and we did this in the past where we've had issues like this, and that was the specific reason why our police department at the time went out and got a certain amount of game cams that were connected to the cellular network, which we should still have them in that room, because I don't ever remember getting rid of them. But, and you get like, some of them, Spy Point, I know you get like 100 free photos, not that that would matter, but you can get as many, that's just sent to your phone, but you can pull the card out of all of them, and you can put it on the edge of the building and see.
So we still have those cameras? Is that something we could do and try it
We
just
should.
temporarily?
We do not.
We do not have those cameras anymore?
We do not.
Do we know where they went?
They got sold to the gentleman that came and took all the surplus stuff of, shortly, after I started in 2024.
I thought he just bought the firearm. I guess that was part of the whole, okay, never mind. I'll keep showing you. So yes, you can buy those cameras for about $70, maybe $120.
So can I ask what we have going on back there? Do we have kids back there? Do we have adults back there vandalizing?
It wasn't vandalizing.
These
But-
dogs pooping, and it's a lot of dog poop. But the individual dog, I think we're both talking about, is not small. You could call this dog a small bear.
Okay.
The thinking that Jason had was, there are sometimes suspicious things happening in the park. If we get something there to see the park also, as well as the trail, as well as the glory spot.
You win some, you lose some is my theory.
It would cover a couple of issues.
I say throw some game cams up there. You don't have to catch them in the moment, you just need to catch them at some point. So,
Because how much is it to run electricity to that?
I don't know,
Well, the quote that we got from Chris from Redmond Computer, it was $1,000 because
Oh,
it had to
okay.
go around the shop and to Jason's computer, and then he could see it on his phone. He'd be alerted if it's movement.
I
now
don't want to spend that kind of.
they have, I mean, and that's just to tie it into ours.
Yeah.
There's other ways to put a camera up to where you don't have to, and that's with like cameras that take batteries, and then you can connect a solar to it, and it's literally plugging something into the corner of their shop, and it's all stored.
Pretty much the same thing I have in my house.
Yeah.
It's a solar powered camera that
Yeah.
records not only on my phone, I get it, but there's a chip inside that camera.
Yeah.
that you can
Which is the
take
same thing
out.
I have, I mean, I use Blink, but yeah, many different ways to keep the price down, but, yeah. Alright, anybody else got anything? I do not. Public comment, speak now. motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Don't leave, we got sign.
I know.
Just reminding you.
My pen back out.
You seemed very eager just to get up and
I
run.
know, it's been a long day.
Days today, I'm not even sure anymore.
It's the 22nd.
Did you have any issues with the drone?
Hmm?
Did you have any issues with the drone?
No. I love how just